Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to today's free training. This is Matt Diggity, and today I'm going to be presenting how to be a successful affiliate SEO by understanding what Google really wants. Now, in a few minutes, we're going to go get started, so just hold tight, get some water, use the restroom, and come right back, and we'll just get going pretty soon. Just going to wait for a few more people to file in. How's it going, guys? Thanks for showing up. Good. People are filing in. Probably start in another, 30 seconds, 1 minute or so. So use this chance to get some water, get pumped up, get a pad, something like that. I'm going to drop some crazy, super nerdy bombs, so hope you're ready to geek out with me. Alright, good. That's enough. Let's go ahead and get started. I hope everyone's doing super well today. I'm super pumped. Like I said, I'm going to be dropping some really nerdy hits. I hope you're ready to hear some really nerdy stuff too. But let's go ahead and get the ball rolling here. Before we start, I wanted to say that there's already hundreds of testimonials for the training you're about to receive here. I'm going to just go ahead and read off some of them. This is Greg Elfrink from Empire Flippers. He's the marketing director here. He says, Matt's stuff is some of the best info in the industry you can get. We sold many of his students' businesses over at Empire Flippers. The info can be very advanced, but the way it's taught makes it approachable even for a newbie starting out. This is like my goal. Like what I like to do is distill down advanced, complicated things and make them easy and digestible. So this one really means a lot to me. We have Pushkal Gona from India saying that he sold his first affiliate product using this training. My friend Jason from Singapore, this is his Chinese name. He uses a technique called site size explosion, which you're about to learn, and he had an amazing effect on his website with no extra links too. Stefan here says, hands down, this stuff works even for someone like me who's been in the SEO game for a long time. He's talking about the kitchen sink, which you're going to learn some of too today. And then we got Tyler. This one's almost like embarrassing for me to read. It's so flattering. But he's saying that this training and my involvement in helping him has been a huge reason for his success. Very flattering. I really appreciate that. Okay, now first things first. My goal is that by the end of this webinar, you'll have been introduced to a clear and consistent way to make money in affiliate marketing, while at the same time reducing the risk and uncertainty typically involved in an SEO career. If I can pull that off, I'll consider my job complete. Okay, so let's see how I'm going to do, but first let me go over the agenda. What we have on the plate. Here are 5 affiliate SEO secrets that will help you rank and bank. Number 1 is the ranking signal you need to start paying attention to starting now. Number 2, how to use data analysis to beat the latest Google updates. Number 3, how to diagnose and fix one of the biggest website killers. Secret number 4 is the backlink technique that will get websites unstuck. And then 5, how to create an entirely new revenue stream from nothing. Now, sorry for the clickbaity titles, but I just wanted to prove to you guys I'm actually an affiliate marketer by showing that I can get your interest going. Okay, so I got a bonus for you guys. There's a bonus for you if you stay till the end of the webinar. Anyone who makes it to the finish line will get secret number 6, a 2-minute hack that can increase your conversion rates up to 19%. And no, it's not some magical button color. It's much more clever than that and actually a lot more simple. Okay, here's a few more testimonials from people who have done this training. R says he started a new affiliate site in 5 months doing 500 euros a month and 400 visitors a day, all without link building. Sanel says he tries one of my strategies, and he had a ranking increase after 1 day. That's awesome. And Kapil is really hit it out of the park. He's just showing his earnings growth over time. September, he's at £6,500 per month. By March, he was at 20,000. Really awesome success from Kapil. All right, so I just want to introduce you to myself real quick in case you've never met me before. My name is Matt Diggity. Here's some photos. This is a photo of me presenting on affiliate SEO at a conference in Vietnam. Here's a picture of me and my lovely wife. Fun fact, her English isn't her first language, and she keeps pronouncing webinar as webinar, and I can't seem to stop teasing her about it. So guys, thank you so much for showing up to my webinar. Here's another photo with my wife dragging me to some embarrassing things like unicorn cafes. And also, I just want to show, like, I really like networking and interacting with other SEOs. Here's a picture of me watching The Lion King with my friend Gabriel from Singapore and Tim Solo, who's the marketing director of Ahrefs. All right, let's go into a little bit of background. Before I ever got into SEO, I was an electrical engineer. I got a master's degree in electrical engineering from UC San Diego. And guess what? That's what I did for quite some time. I was an engineer working at a startup company, and it started to drain the absolute life out of me. I was working like 60-hour weeks and just slaving for someone, making a lot of people a lot of money, but not making that much myself and burning myself out in the process. So in like 2009, my buddy gave me the 4-hour work week, and I started playing around with affiliate SEO as a method to get passive income. And I started getting better at it. I started getting to the point where I was able to replace my 6-figure income as an engineer. And then in around 2011, I started to pull the plug on that engineering job and just start doing affiliate SEO full time. So I've been in the game for a while. Now, here's what it's looked like since I just started doing SEO full time. I have a company called LeadSpring, which is basically an affiliate SEO agency. Think of client agency, but it's not servicing clients. It's just sole purpose is the building and creation and monetization and ranking and flipping of affiliate websites. Right now we have 45 live money sites. I've flipped over 25 sites. Currently I have over 3,000 keywords on page 1. And I'm not telling you this to brag. I'm just letting you know that I have a lot of data. And for someone like me that bases all of their ranking techniques on testing and data, this is a good thing for both me and you since you're learning from me today. Diggity Marketing, this is basically my personal marketing brand and blog. It's most likely you're here on this webinar because you've at least heard of me or read some content on diggitymarketing.com. I also offer SEO consulting to both new and advanced SEOs and agencies. I have an agency myself called The Search Initiative with over 100 clients. I'm the host of the Chiang Mai SEO conference. The photo's over there on the right. And I'm a founder of Authority Builders, the fastest growing white hat backlink service in the industry. And as you can see, I'm very heavily immersed in this SEO world, but as you can imagine, actually I wasn't always good at SEO. Let's rewind back to 2011. The situation was that I was making about $1,900 per month, sometimes more, sometimes less. It was enough to get by where I was living, but it was definitely not enough to thrive. The fact of the matter is that I was working extremely hard for it, building dozens of money sites. A lot of them weren't in profitable niches, and a lot of them weren't ranking, so I was spending a lot of my time on non-profitable work, unfortunately. See, I had come from an engineering background where I was working like 60-hour weeks and doing very technical work, getting stressed out, and what I felt like is I was creating that again for myself here, and it was starting to freak me out. But what I really wanted, the bottom line is I just wanted more time. I'd created a new job for myself, just as strenuous as when I was an engineer. I also wanted to rank consistently and get that nagging uncertainty out of my head that I didn't actually know what I was doing. Like, I'm sure you felt that way before if you're an SEO. Sure, I'd had success in ranking, but there were also definitely more failures, and that didn't feel good at all. And then lastly, I just wanted to like scale to 5 and maybe even 6-figure months. Like, I didn't want to just scrape by, but I wanted to flourish. I wanted to travel anywhere I wanted to at the time. I wanted to be able to send my future kids to any schools they wanted to go to. And this was a situation for a while. And then I found website flipping. My friend Kurt Phillip, he's a buddy of mine. He lives, or he used to live in Chiang Mai with me. He's also the founder of Convertica. You might have heard about him before. But he saw that I was getting stressed out and bogged down with work. I wasn't coming out on the weekends, and he suggested what I should do is sell off some of my sites. And I asked him where. And he told me about these marketplaces that you can list your website on, and basically they would pay you your monthly profit times about 30x, which is the same as pretty much taking a time machine about like 2.5 years in the future and collecting all that money now. And the cool thing about it is this 30x multiple gets bigger and bigger every year as more people are learning about the, I don't know, high return investments of digital assets and online investing. So what this meant to me is that I could cash out for huge sums of cash. Let's say I had a site making $2,000 a month, just $2,000 a month. I could sell that for $60,000, and basically I would have 2.5 years to make a new one before this idea became a stupid idea. So now what happened is my time is back. I could sell off my inventory and focus on a few sites at a time. It makes sense, right? I totally thought so too. So what I decided to do, I went all in. I tried it out by selling a package of 3 sites for $100,000, and once that money hit my bank, I was hooked. I decided to only start building sites in niches that would sell, and I went at it hard. So like, no more sites about like fad weight loss pills. I was looking for stuff that investors would be into, and I just started building out my portfolio hardcore. And then this happened. I had a major freaking setback. So I was dipping into my savings for costs like for content, for example, building out new sites, staff and vendors to help out, and of course backlinks. And then what happened is I got penalized by the Penguin update. May 22nd, 2013, I woke up and all my projects that I was working on had completely died. I'm talking totally dead. So this is kind of how I felt. I was crushed. I seriously had nightmarish visions of having to call up my old boss and beg him to let me come back to that terrible engineering job that had caused me a nervous breakdown. In hindsight, I tried to figure out why this had happened to me, and what I realized was that the problem is that I started to get lazy. I was so focused on scaling that I got lazy with the actual ranking part. I started listening to what other people were saying about how they were doing their rankings and just started copying them. And as you can see, I paid the price. Most people that I was friends with in SEO quit around this time and moved on to like drop shipping or fulfillment by Amazon, FBA, stuff like that. I decided to stick around, but I was going to do things my way. And basically I decided I wasn't going to just follow everything that I read on the forums with Facebook or from the gurus. I would only believe what I could learn from actually testing ranking techniques in Google and seeing a real demonstration of it working before I try it out on my own affiliate sites. And it looks like this. This will sound familiar to you if you think back to like old high school science experiments when you have a control group, which would be a set of test cases where you wouldn't change anything at all, and then an experimental group where you'd alter something, and then you're comparing the difference in the result. So I'd have actual websites ranking in Google. These are just test websites created just for testing the algorithm. And these guys have a variety of ranking signals going on. So they'd have a certain type of links, and they'd have a certain anchor text distribution, and they'd have certain content characteristics, and they'd all have these same signals in common. Then I would take an experimental group and I'd change one of these signals. Like I'd added a new link type I was testing or new ways to optimize on-site SEO. And then I'd observe the outcome to decide whether it worked or not. Now, once I started doing this, SEO became a lot easier, a lot easier. And it's pretty obvious that it would, right? I mean, I was getting my information directly through actual demonstration from Google themselves. So I learned a ton through testing. Some of the basics were like how to correctly optimize a web page, how to choose anchor text properly for my niches rather than just following some generic guidelines that are supposed to apply to every niche, which we all know doesn't work. And I learned about which links provide ranking increases and which links to stay away from. And then there was some more advanced stuff too. Like I started to get more consistency because I learned how to get sites moving when they got stuck. I got faster rankings, and I was able to compete in more niches because I was combining different techniques together, and I was making up entirely new ones from scratch. And I got a lot better at conversion optimization, like CRO, because I was really geeking out on CRO at the time, reading a lot of books and stuff like that. And finally, lastly, I got really good at both recovering from and avoiding penalties in the first place. I'd have to say I'm pretty strong at that from all this testing that I was doing. And the results started coming in. This is a keyword in a very competitive 1.8 million search niche that I got from 8 to 3, and it's steadily climbing. I'm really proud of this one Here's traffic for a niche that I was in. It was the toy of the Christmas season, and we got 80,000 visitors in one day and made $60,000 in 1 week on Amazon. Here's traffic for a site that I'm working on right now where the results just keep pouring in. Traffic just keeps cranking up every day. And here's another site where it just kind of ranks #1 for everything it wants to rank for, just pure domination. Now, I'm not the kind of guy that likes to talk about money, but it got good too. I was regularly flipping sites for 6 figures. Now, here's one from January for 173,000 and another from July for 303,000. And here's a valuation I just got for one of my websites that I'm looking to list soon. And I'm not showing you this to show off or anything like that. I'm honestly very, very humble about this. I'm honestly still very surprised and very grateful about all this stuff. Now, just to recap, I'll try to explain why my new approach was working by first explaining how my original approach wasn't working. This is how affiliate SEO is usually done. You don't want to settle for just one site, which will have a limited amount of income and more risk, so you scale, you make more projects, you're investing in them with your money and your time, and eventually, unless you start hiring a bunch of staff, you're going to hit a limit. And many people don't have the time to test, so you're just reading what you see on the Facebook groups and the forums, and surprisingly, you're not getting results. So the difference for me was that I was testing everything in Google to see exactly what would work. I started flipping websites, so I was making more money and continuously freeing up more time in a little cycle. And I would even use that flip money to fund new projects, so I was never out of pocket. I was always cash flow positive. And then lastly, good old-fashioned hard work and determination was the rest of the equation. Now, I hope that all makes sense. If it doesn't, you know where to find me. But what I wanted to just touch upon is that this strategy doesn't just work for me. It works for others too. We have Brandon King from the United States. He's flipped over 10 websites. Tom, who I mentioned before, he's got a site that's approaching $50,000 a month, and he's killing it right now. Bowen from Singapore, he just sold his first website for $68,000. Ben from the UK, he's one of Empire Flipper's top sellers by using this model. Jonas, one of my students, he just sold, or actually he sold quite a bit ago, one site for over €1 million. And then Jay's my right-hand man. He started off as a virtual assistant, and now himself he's managing websites, and he's a 6-figure earner himself. All right, guys, let's move on to the training part of the presentation. Here's a quick review of what we're about to cover. And don't forget the 6 conversion secret at the end of the webinar. Let's go ahead and get on with the first one. Secret number 1, the ranking signal you need to start paying attention to now. To cover this one, I frequently ran into an issue where I'd send links and they wouldn't move the needle. Now, once I figured this out, as long as I'm sending clean links, I expect to see a gain. It falls back to a concept called the golden ratio. So the golden ratio is broken down like this. We all know that backlinks are still the #1 offsite ranking signal in Google. Backlinks are what makes Google who they are. They've inched ahead, or they leapfrogged ahead of all the other search engines because they relied on backlinks as a ranking signal. So they're very much still baked into their algorithm. But if we think about things, backlinks are really rare in the real world. Imagine you have a buddy that owns a coffee shop or something like that. How often do you think your buddy goes to his coffee shop's website and links out to other websites during the course of the year? Maybe like 3 or 4 times, something like that. But then we have social signals. Social signals are used to justify the occurrence of links. Think about this. Your buddy, who has this coffee shop, how often does he post something on Facebook about the new pumpkin spice latte special going on, or a band that he has coming in on Thursday nights or something like that? He might be posting daily. So social signals justify the occurrence of backlinks. Now, if your website is receiving tens or hundreds of backlinks per month, then it very well better be talked about on Facebook. It just kind of makes sense like this, right? But here's the kicker. What's used to justify social signals? Here's where traffic comes into play. And why is that? Because there's always going to be more traffic than backlinks and social signals. Anyone who backlinks to an article has obviously visited that page at least once. Anyone who shares something on Facebook has obviously looked at that funny cat video at least once before they share it. So there's always more traffic. So guys, traffic justifies both the links and the social signals and empowers the links to work. All right. Everyone knows what a sandbox site is. In this period, you don't have any traffic, nor trust for that matter. So even if you send the best link on the planet, it's going to get muted out by Google. This is just how the sandbox works. This link sent to a site in the sandbox didn't budge this keyword from the 130 range, where there's definitely no competition there, and a solid link was sent there and it didn't do anything. But if you have a healthy site with plenty of traffic to justify an influx of links, this is where you see jumps from page 4 to page 1. That's the big difference here. Now, we all know where to get backlinks from. Most people know where to get social signals from, but where to proactively get traffic from is kind of up in the air. Let me first talk about what's not effective. First, traffic bot services that send fake visitors. Google makes its money from people clicking ads. Think about this. They're probably pretty damn good by now at figuring out what's a fake click. All right. Also, paid traffic does work. I've seen people rank simply because of huge AdWords budgets. Yes, they're spending money on AdWords and their ranking increases on Google organic search. But it's really not viable from a ranking standpoint in affiliate SEO unless you have some kind of stake in the product yourself or a really, really killer affiliate deal. It's kind of, the ROI is just not there. It's just too expensive for most people. The payoff is not enough. Now here's what's effective. First of all, links. If you can get links on pages where people actually click over to your site from that location, these are golden. But where I'm seeing the most value is doing crazy keyword research through a process I call recursive keyword research, and this is how it works. Okay, let's talk about the difference between good keyword research and poor keyword research. I'm going to talk about poor first. So with poor keyword research, you're looking at about 100 keywords per site. Most of the keywords that you're putting on your site are the big money keywords related to affiliate SEO, the best and review keywords that have high buyer intent. That's great. Less like best juicer reviews. But what about all the long tail keywords that would provide us traffic? Or how about all the potential customers and traffic that are searching for stuff like juice detox recipes that we could sweep up? Now, proper keyword research looks like this. We're talking 1,000 or more keywords per page, not 100 per site. It's going to cover all the long tails, and it's going to cover all the topics in the niche. Why do we do it like this? So we can optimize our pages for all the possible keywords, swoop up all the traffic, which then feeds back into this justification golden ratio system to justify the backlinks that we're going to hit our site with. So here's how the process works. You take the top ranker for the main keyword and you put it into one of the tools like SEMrush or Ahrefs. They both have free trial versions. And then what you're going to do is you're going to reverse engineer this URL for all the keywords that's ranking for. The tools will probably dump out like 1,000 of these things. So what you do is you Google best juicer, you find the number one ranker, you plug it into the tool, and it's going to tell you every single keyword that URL ranks for. Next thing, you do it 4 more times for the number 2, the number 3, the number 4, and the number 5th ranker, and you're going to end up with like 10,000 keywords. All right? Some of these keywords won't belong to the main category like best juicer. They might be subtopics. So these will become new pages on your site. All right? I hope that makes sense. Then we start, okay, so these become new pages on your site. Then we start to do it again. You take the top 5 rankers for one of your subcategories, and then you do the same process. And in the second process, you might find new subcategories, or you might find, here's would be like new subcategories of masticating juicers, for example, like the Omega, the Tribest, the Champion. And you might find that different keywords belong to parallel categories or the main category itself, but you're just building and building over time, and you just rinse and repeat. Now this process runs over and over and over. We run the tool again on our subtopics, and these will create and find new categories for us and catch keywords that other sites that might not have caught. And after all that's said and done, you run a brainstorm test. You just think like, okay, what are some keywords that I haven't seen come up, but I know that have to do with juicing, like does juicing boost your immune system, stuff like that. and you run it on those guys too. And guess what? You're going to get more topics, you're going to populate more categories, and as a result, you're going to end up with you're going to end up uncovering all the keywords possible in the niche pretty much. And you're going to get up all the variations, all the long tails, and all the topics you want to talk about. Now you just need to optimize your pages to include all these keywords. You can swoop up all this easy traffic and enable firepower mode with your links. It's as simple as that. Now, it's not me that sees this increase in the importance of traffic either. My friend and very successful casino affiliate, James Dooley, says, nowadays our business mindset shift has moved towards technical SEO, engagement, and traffic. Engagement and traffic are what I believe to be the holy grail and will be for years to come. Wise words there. Now, okay, secret number 2, how to use data analysis to beat the latest Google updates. Before I started optimizing based on what I'm about to show you, I was a little bit fearful about recent updates, but not anymore. It's hard to get Google to actually talk about what the ranking factors are, the ranking factors that are involved in the updates these days, but when they do talk, recently, if you pay attention, they're saying that they have to do with relevance. And here's an example on Search Engine Journal here. Here's another in a Google Webmaster Hangout. But if we think about this, what does relevance actually mean in the context of websites? To me, namely, does the content on your site cover all the necessary topics and points that are necessary to answer the search query? As simple as that. If someone is searching for how to cook an omelet, are you talking about everything you need, like how to crack eggs, how to put oil in the pan, etc.? Are you covering all the topics, and are you completely relevant to the search query? This is where TF-IDF comes into play. If you haven't heard about this before, it stands for term frequency, inverse document frequency, which is fairly technical, but to simplify it, you can think of it as like this. It's like modern day keyword density. Now, what TF-IDF analysis tools allow you to do is look at the top 10 ranking sites. Then you're going to see what words and phrases show up in their content and how often these words and phrases show up. Now, boom, you can now see if you're covering all the points in the search query by simply looking at what Google is already putting on page 1 and looking at all their content and pulling out all the words that are showing up frequently. I use a tool for this called Website Auditor, which is 100% free. Download it, you type in your URL and keyword, and it analyzes your content to see if you're hitting all the words and phrases enough time. It'll even tell you if you need to increase or lower the number for each word or phrase. Now here you can see that I've optimized my blog's content for the term keyword cannibalization, and here I am ranking right up there with big blogs like SEMrush and Search Engine Watch. Here's some more test results. Now here's a keyword going from 6 to 3. It's a little rinky-dinky search volume, but this is pretty significant because I'm not sending links here. All I did was tweak the content. Here's another going from 8 to 4, another rinky-dink one, 70 searches per month. Now here's a big keyword, 1,900 searches per month, going from 8 to 6. Pretty awesome. And my student Constantine says, seen ranking improvements pretty much every single time TF-IDF optimization for pages that are not optimized yet when taking over sites for clients. So it's not just me that's taking advantage of this stuff. Check this out, download the tool, it's 100% free. Let me know what you think. Now, secret number 3, how to diagnose and fix one of the biggest website killers. Now, before I figured this one out, I was experiencing what I thought to be the Google dance, where keywords were just kind of jumping up and down 20 positions and not making sense at all. This helped me figure out that what it was really about and essentially how to fix it. First off, have you ever experienced what I was just talking about, the Google dance? It's not a cool dance move like this mysterious Robin Hood / hip hop guy, whatever this dude's doing. It's more like this, where your rankings start bouncing up and down positions quite dramatically, and it sucks if you ever experienced it before. What this is, most of the time, is keyword cannibalization, where Google essentially just doesn't like to rank multiple pages from the same website for the same keyword. They don't want to type in best protein powder and find the top 10 results are all from bodybuilding.com. That is not a good result for Google. They want diversity. So they kind of block you from letting this happen. And when you have two pages on your website, whether it's intentional or not, competing for the same keyword, bad things happen. I'll show you what happens. So here I'm showing rankings over time, and each color that you're seeing here represents different URLs on my site. Now, if you notice here from November to January, we have this dark blue line that's ranking. This is my intended page that I want to rank for this keyword. Now, what happens here is this light blue one decides, oh, I have some of those keywords on my page. Let me try ranking too. And then they both start ranking together. Then they both start crashing together. And you also notice that there's some periods here, like when they're switching URLs and stuff like that, where just nothing ranks. It goes down to 0, like right here and right here. And that's what's happening when you're experiencing the Google dance. Like, hey, I was just ranked first page. Now I'm ranked nothing. Like, that's what's happening here. Keyword cannibalization is knocking it to smithereens. So the question is how to fix this. What I recommend is complete de-optimization of the offending page. So think, for example, like, okay, you have your title and your H1. These are major places to indicate to Google what your site is, or what your page is about. So look at the offending page and get those keywords, or replace them with synonyms. Get them out of the title tag in the H1s. And then internal anchor text helps too. So the offending page that you don't want to rank for the keyword that's competing for, just make sure you're not sending any of those words from that keyword as internal anchor text. And then external anchor text helps too, but not nearly as much as the on-site factors that I mentioned above. An example of this would be, let's say you have a keyword, best golf drivers, all right? You have an intended page you want to rank for, the top 6 best golf drivers of the year. Obviously, that's the one you want to rank for. And then you might have this offending page that's how to drive a golf ball, 5 steps. Now Google sees, okay, here's the word best golf and driver, but this one also has golf and drive here. Like, maybe it's trying to rank this one for it. It's silly, but it happens all the time. So what you can do is make a new title here. So take the word drive and replace it with hit, for example, and it should clear it up. Now there's more drastic measures you can take, like 301 redirects, combining content, but this is the easiest and usually the most effective way to solve it. So start right here. And this is what a typical keyword cannibalization ranking recovery looks like. You can see how bad the dancing was on this page. We're normally number 1 for it and dropping to 100 or so for multiple keywords on the page. See, the thing is, cannibalization doesn't just affect one keyword, but it damages the entire page. So once we fix that, boom, solidly locked in at number 1 again. Awesome. And as I've shown before, it's not just me that's getting success from these kind of techniques and debug strategies. Barbara here, one of my students, says, made some recommended changes to 2 pages that had keyword cannibalization issues that Matt Diggity's post and comments recommends. That was less than 48 hours ago. The results speak for themselves. Now to address the rest of the site. Exactly. Secret number 4, the backlink technique that will get websites unstuck. Okay, guys, this is a big one. This is pretty much my secret weapon for backlinking. I've been using it for ages, but I didn't know how powerful this one was until some people actually showed me some of the results and telling me about like all the crazy rankings that we're getting from this and really making transformative leaps and bounds for their websites. Okay, so the background goes like this. Basically, every week I'm looking at websites, not just my own, but other people's websites. I'm auditing sites for people that apply for JVs. I do consultations where I help people with stuck websites. And then over time, I started to notice a trend. Basically, the trend looked like this. Given enough time, a large enough site can rank in just about any niche. You ever reverse engineer like some competitors in a niche and you see them ranking with garbage links, a bunch of like blog comments, stuff like that? It's likely they just have time and size on their site. There's basically 2 classes of sites that I've seen this happening with. First is huge sites and poor links. Okay, on one side, you have very large sites that are ranking with crappy links. You can see these pop up on broker marketplaces like Flip all the time. They have 100 or more index pages. They're pretty large, and they're using all the free crappy link sources you can imagine. Comments, forums, Yahoo Answers, like all this kind of stuff. And if you're tracking these guys, you'll see that most of the time they start to turn the corner around the 1 year, maybe 2 year mark. That's when they start ranking. Okay. Then you have huge sites with good links. All right. So in this case, these have 100 or more index pages, just like the other guys, but they're using high standard links that is typical of folks like you and I here today. They're using white hat links, citations, maybe some press releases if they're high quality, and maybe they're doing some PBNing, but really good stuff. And these, if you're monitoring these guys, they were taking about 6 to 8 months to rank. So I wanted to see if I could duplicate this, but I wanted to see if I could do it faster and without making such a huge investment in content. I wanted to do it with smaller sites and just figure out what was this magical thing that was going on here and how could I distill it down into a technique that's repeatable. So here's how I structured the test plan. I took a handful of existing active money sites in various niches. I doubled their sizes with topically relevant blog posts, interlinking them to the money page content. And then I tracked rankings and traffic over time. Okay, let's see what happened. 65 days later, we had increased each site from an average of 19 pages to about 41 pages on average. Yeah, I know, I make pretty small sites compared to most people. A weekly traffic increased less than 10%. The number of keywords in the top 10 only increased from 39 to 44. Here's what daily traffic looked like over the course of the test. And here's what some ranking graphs showing the lackluster results. You can see here, like, the current ranks had 0 number 1 rankers, 2 number 3s. We popped up to 4 here and 1 here, but this isn't really what I was hoping to see. I was expecting to see like a huge ranking increase like these other sites that I was seeing growing. So very often during SEO tests, you just need to pivot. When the results don't turn out in your favor, it's not quite time to throw in the towel and give up on the test, but try to brainstorm and see what else you can milk out of it, okay? So I did some brainstorming with my team, and this is what we came up with. In round 1, we kept doing our normal linking protocol, namely simply sending links to the home pages and silo pages, our money pages, the ones that we were trying to rank. And yeah, this is like normal protocol, essentially what everyone else does. But then I had the idea, but what if we spread out the link love and sent links all over the entire site, even to these useless blog posts that we've created simply for the purpose of increasing the size of the site? Here's what the results look like in round 2. Okay, very easy. We just sent 9 links to the new blog posts. After 40 days, traffic doubled from 3,000 to 6,000 and some change. The number of keywords in the top 10 jumped from 44 to 92. Here's what traffic looked like during the course of round 2. Now, the crazy thing about this, I haven't done this just once in the test. I've done this about 10 times since there. It's super consistent. Here's what was happening. When you get stuck, you need to start publishing content. You grow the size of your site with relevant articles to your main topics, and you link to your main pages from these relevant articles. Then follow up those posts with links. It doesn't take much, 1 or 2 to each, but you get this insane boost. Just keep up the pattern. Post, link, post, link, post, link. Super, super simple. Now, what this does is show Google that your site is growing. It's being taken care of, like you're not an absent-minded webmaster. You're growing the size of your site. And every time it does grow, people are liking it and linking to it. This grows your domain authority and its trust, so everything just starts ranking better. Now guys, don't sleep on this technique. If you're stuck, I want you to go try this out right now. It takes some time. Of course, you got to get the content published. You got to drip it out over time. If you have a decent enough site, don't worry about the content velocity, but this really, really works. Now, my buddy Tom just told me in a private mastermind that this technique was the secret to his success for his site, pulling in over $40,000 per month. He said, I got stuck on quite a few competitive keywords for a while before I learned this SSE technique. He uses it so much, he put an acronym on it, Site Size Explosion. I planned and executed a pretty big SSE over 2 months. Around month 3, traffic suddenly started going up. So did my rankings for the competitive keywords. At around 4 months since I started, my traffic had doubled and earnings were up 150%. It's as easy as that. Try it out. This is freaking awesome. It's my secret weapon. All right. Secret number 5. How to create an entirely new revenue stream from nothing. Secret number 5 came about when I was trying to meet a company personal goal of doubling a website's profit in a month. So I knew I had to implement something that was super quick and clever. You guys are going to love this one. Check it out. So this is the website monthly traffic for one of the sites that I've been working on. And obviously this traffic is very useful for me. But who else would you find this traffic useful to? Have any guesses? Yes, the affiliate provider themselves. Why would they be interested in this traffic data? So they can retarget these people on Facebook. Now, I had this idea for quite some time to rent out my Facebook pixel to an advertiser and just instantly monetizing something that wasn't monetized before, but I'd never seen this before, so I was kind of trailblazing here, and this is how I pitched it. This is the exact script that I used. Basically, hey John, do you guys run any Facebook advertisements? In July, my website had 31,000 visitors, and that's going to continue to rise. Your competitor approached me about buying access to the retargeting pixel, but I wanted to talk to you about it first. Hey Matt, thanks for thinking of us. We're definitely up for that. What are you looking for? Hey John, your competitor hasn't made me an offer yet, but typically for pixels with this level of traffic, they go for about $1,000 a month. Actually, I had no idea what they were going for, but that's what I shot for. Traffic 2x's down the road, then we can renegotiate, but I'm okay with locking that in for 3 months. Regards, Matt. Right on, definitely makes sense. We're down the road as traffic changes. For now, we can do $1,000 for 1 month and test it. So at this point, I can tell it's going to convert. This is where I kind of change the tone, get a little bit more abrupt, kind of like when you're doing email outreach and you can sense you're going to get that link. So go, hey John, sounds good. Here's a PayPal subscription link to get that started. You can just click that and we'll get started. As soon as that's paid, I'll let your competitor know that it's not for sale, inject a little bit more emotion. Please send me over your PayPal pixel code and I'll get it installed today. So instant satisfaction. And if you don't mind, I'm doing a bunch of retargeting myself in other verticals, and I would love to see how you guys are doing with this. It's my current Geek of the Month topics, and now they feel like they have a partner in this. And it's true. I do want to know how it's doing, and I have offered them feedback, and I've learned from them as well. So they have a partner in this, not just someone making money off them. So essentially, this whole process of renting out the Facebook pixel was about 30 minutes of work to have this back and forth on email, and I increased the flip price of my website by $32,000 if we're using a 32x standard multiple. Super, super easy. Try it out. Okay guys, I have a couple questions. How many of you just learned something new and you're excited to try it out? Awesome, awesome. And how many of you guys are feeling a bit overwhelmed? Totally normal. We talked about a lot of stuff. Let's just review what we've already gone over. We talked about why flipping is the best way to scale, why you should only rely on test results to base your SEO techniques off of, why you need to pay attention to traffic and how to make sure you get it all, how to beat relevance in the algorithm, how to beat and detect keyword cannibalization, the site size explosion, content, and linking combination technique, and then this super sneaky way to make money from nothing. Well, guys, honestly, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Now, as promised, I owe you one more bonus for making it to the end of the webinar. That's the CRO trick that improves conversion up to 19%. But is it okay with you guys if I spend the next few minutes just going over a special product I created to help you do very well at affiliate SEO? Is that okay with you? Okay, cool. Let me introduce the Affiliate Lab. It's my blueprint for ranking affiliate websites, and it shows exactly the steps I take to find profitable niches, rank websites in them, maximize their traffic, and then tune up their conversions to ultimately flip them for over 6-figure deals. If you learned anything from this webinar, that's just the beginning. I'd say it's about 1% of the Affiliate Lab. The Affiliate Lab is over 160 videos and 15 hours of training content. Yeah, it's quite a lot. It's completely over the shoulder, and you get to see me build a website from scratch. So in the Affiliate Lab, I like to use a combination like this. I first teach some theory on some subject related to ranking, monetization, something like that. Then I show you exactly how it's done over the shoulder. Let me show you what's inside the Affiliate Lab. The core content of the Affiliate Lab is valued at $2,997, which includes niche selection, a full module with a systemized way and a systemized process for you to grade niches to determine if they're profitable and easy to rank in. We also have this recursive keyword research, which you learned about before, but you'll be getting the full demo on an actual live example of this in the Affiliate Lab, plus shortcuts on how to speed up the process and turn it from a day-long exercise to an hour-long exercise. Site architecture, content production, how to build your